So guys, welcome back everyone to Iron Man Armors explanation series. So it is the episode number 18, in which guys it is the part 2 of the house party protocol. So guys, in the last video I had explained Mark 8 armor to Mark 20 armor, means just a few armors. I had explained only 12 armors out of these armors. So that was just a first video, and this is our second part of house party protocol, in which we are going to explain total 20, I think 20 Iron Man armors, that is from Mark 21 to Mark 41 poles. So let's start with the Mark 21 armor, that was Midas armor. So guys, in Iron Man 1, Tony Stark saw that Mark 2 had freezing problem and it could not go to high altitude. So he solved this problem in Mark 3, and after Mark 3 all the suits don't have the freezing problem because of the gold titanium alloy. But guys, none of them could fly to suborbital. So Mark 21 armor, that is the Midas armor, this armor was basically made for high altitude flying. And guys, this armor's color was also golden, and it could go to suborbital platform also, means in suborbit it could also go into high altitude. And this was the special thing about this armor, and it was destroyed in clean slate protocol. But yeah, it had a weakness that it could not go to orbital, means not in space, but as I told, suborbital means almost maximum altitude it can fly. And the next, if I talk about Mark 22 armor, that is hot rod armor, then it was actually a prototype armor. That was a prototype of War Machine, means its body was like War Machine, and its arms were Iron Man classic color red, and the legs were of um, Tony Stark's one car, that was hot rod. And this armor was actually almost, you guys can say, War Machine armor, because it had all the weapons similar to that only, means back mounted minigun and hand mounted machine gun, repulsor, unibeam, missile, means the weapons that were contained in War Machine Mark II armor, means Iron Patriot armor, those weapons were stored in this armor also. But there were only two differences. First difference was that War Machine armor was a very heavy armor, but hot rod armor was a very much light armor. And the second difference was that War Machine Mark II was built by titanium alloy, but this armor was built by gold titanium alloy. In Iron Man 3, Tony Stark tried to suit up, but because of its light weight it was destroyed, and Tony Stark could not wear this armor. And next, if I talk about Mark 23 armor, that was shades. So actually this armor was for the military purpose, means it had the military uh, uh, coloring only on its body, and it had anti-heat platings that prevented it from extreme heat, and it was only for military use. It contained only two weapons, repulsors and unibeam, and it was also destroyed in clean slate protocol. Next, if I talk about Mark 24 armor, that was tank, then this was a means great armor, because this armor's chest plate was X-shaped so that it cannot consume so much power from the arc reactor. So it was the advantage of the armor, because the other armors consumed so much power from the arc reactor, but it consumed minimum power because of its X structure. And otherwise it was made up of gold titanium alloy plus silver, that increased its durability. And later Tony Stark also destroyed this also in clean slate protocol. Next, if I talk about Mark 25, that was thumper or striker, then this armor had repulsors, unibeams and two jackhammers. It was for construction use, and in Iron Man 3 this armor gave punch to two extremists, and later Tony Stark also blasted this armor. And next is Mark 26 Gamma. Then guys, Mark 26 Gamma was an updated version of Mark 25 armor. Its weapons were similar to Mark 25 armor, but it was for also for construction purpose, and its jackhammers are of gamma radiation, that is the Hulk's radiation, gamma radiation. So this was the upgrade in its jackhammers. Otherwise it had no such upgrade, and it also used its gamma uh, gamma jackhammers at its threatable weapon. And next, if I talk about Mark 27 armor, that was disco armor. So guys, I had told you that the Mark 15, that was sneaky, and Mark 16, that was nightclub. Tony Stark had used a camouflage technology so that the armor could change its colors according to the environment. But guys, Mark 27 armor was an upgraded version of nightclub armor, because this armor could means better camouflage than the Mark 16 nightclub. And so it this armor had also camouflage ability that was much better than the Mark 16 camouflage and Mark 15 camouflage technology, and its color was blue and orange, and later it was also destroyed in clean slate protocol. And next, if I talk about Mark 28, that was jack armor, then this armor was basically made to repair the radiation like radio, metals, etc., and it was also destroyed. And next, if I talk about Mark 29, that was fiddler, then this suit was half battle and half construction purpose, because it had also one left-handed jackhammer like Mark 25 and Mark 26 armor. And next, if I talk about Mark 30, that is blue steel, then it had vibranium arc reactor. So yes guys, it had a vibranium in its arc reactor that increased its durability, and it had repulsors, unibeams, and hidden blades in its wrist place, and its color was blue and silver. Next, if I talk about Mark 31, and guys, if I talk about Mark 31, that is piston armor, then guys, this was the second fastest armor in Iron Legion except Mark 40. And guys, this armor could travel more than 10,000 km per hour speed, and it had also many arc reactors, but some extremists destroyed this armor. Next, if I talk about Mark 32 armor, that is Romeo, then this armor was a weak armor, means after Mark 5 this armor was the weakest armor, and because of its very low weight also, and it had weapons only repulsor and univ, so this armor was the weakest armor in the full house party protocol. And next, if I talk about Mark 33, that silver centurion armor that Tony Stark used to save pepper pots, and Killian destroyed this armor. So this armor was an upgraded version of Mark 30, that was blue steel. Just in this armor, red, silver, and gold platings were used. And guys, it had also hidden blades in his wrists that could cut Killian's hand. And if I talk about Mark 34 armor, that is Southpaw, then this armor was built to protect people from earthquakes. It was not a battle suit, and it was also destroyed in the clean slate protocol. Next, if I talk about Mark 35, that is Red Snapper, then this suit was the tallest Iron Man house party protocol armor, and this armor had a big cannon in its hand, and this cannon could destroy many things. And if I talk about Mark 36, that was Peacemaker, then this armor was built to help police. So it had repulsor, unibeam, and sonic repulsor, and it was also destroyed in clean slate protocol. Next, if I talk about Mark 37 armor, that was Hammerhead, then this armor was built to fight in underwater. Means Mark 6 armor was the first underwater Iron Man suit, but still it could go to underwater for limited time. But Mark 37 armor, that was Hammerhead, it was only built to fight, means not only go in the inside water, but also fight. So it was a very powerful water resistant armor, and it had torpedoes instead of missiles, so that it could fire torpedoes in water. And this had also an electronic field that can be used in underwater. And next is the famous armor Mark 38 Igor. This armor was a heavy duty armor which can hold 10,000 kg weight in its back. It had a back engine so that it could hold so much weight. So it could, as I told, that it could hold the maximum weight in the full house party protocol. But Tony Stark destroyed this armor also. And next, if I talk about Mark 39, that is Star Boost or Gemini, then this armor somewhat was an upgrade to Mark 21 or Midas, because I told you that Midas cannot go to high means it could go to suborbital, many high altitude, but it could not go to space. But Star Boost armor was made to go to space. This armor was an orbital armor, and it had the gas cylinder in its back and a large consecutive cannon. It was also destroyed in clean slate protocol. And guys, next if I talk about the Mark 40 armor, that was shotgun, then guys, this armor Tony Stark used against Eldritch Killian, but Killian destroyed it. It was the fastest armor in the whole House Party protocol, and it is the means, except Mark 85 armor or Mark 50 armor like nanotech suits, this armor is the fastest Iron Man armor, because it could fly much more than 10,000 km/h speed also. And guys, this armor could also repair radiation like radios and so on. And then last but not the least, Mark 41 bones. Then if I talk about the bones, then this was the lightest armor, so it could separate in its own body parts, that we saw also in Iron Man 3 movie, where Bones was killing the extremists by separating in parts. That was similar little bit to Hulkbuster armor also. And Tony used the autonomous prehensile tech first time in this Bones armor only. But unfortunately, this cool armor was blasted by Tony Stark to save Pepper. So finally guys, these I have explained every Iron Man armors, and it was actually the final episode of this series. Means not actually final, it's last but not the least, because now also War Machine armor, Ironmonger armor, Whiplash armor, those armors is till now pending. So I will make those videos as soon as possible, as soon as you like the video, otherwise it will take 1 or 2 months time. So it's depend on you, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Leave a like, you can watch my other videos. Till then, bye bye, stay awesome, stay safe.